right, so welcome to the pilot episode of BlazerTag. I'm confident that in the series of this whole podcast that I'm going to mess that up a million times.
100 times.
Like, probably say like Blazer Lag, Blazer. I can't go.
Blazer Bag.
We know what. Yeah, exactly. So
Blazer Sag.
But basically, I guess the best way to describe us is that we're all a bunch of nerds that like Blazers and like sports.
That's true.
What more fitting name than BlazerTag, because laser tag is awesome and Blazers are even more awesome.
True fact.
So we are your hosts. I'm Brandon.
I am Ryan Witty Whitledge.
I am Ryan Green.
So Green. So yeah. So
Green.
Witty and Green, and the other guy with Brandon as the name. Something like that.
We're the reverse BRB.
Yeah, be right back. You'll never know that again. It'll always be Brandon, Ryan, Green, and Wine, whatever. So I'm already
Ryan
started.
Whitledge. There we go.
So why are we doing this? I really have no idea why we're doing this. I think we were all pretty drunk about a month ago, and we're like, you know what seems like a really good idea?
Oh, not now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're currently drinking too. But, what seems like a good idea to do when we're all extremely busy? Let's start a podcast.
Let's drink more.
And let's consistently agree to do it each week. Yeah.
True fact.
So a little detail about...
Edit that part out.
Yeah.
No, not today.
No, keep it raw. We like it raw.
Now we can actually see each other, kind of.
So, to kind of intro ourselves a little bit, obviously, if you go to BlazerTagPodcast.com, you can get a full rundown of our bio. So I don't want to
whole shebang.
I don't want to clog the feed up with a big rundown, epic story about how we like long walks to the beach and sandy oysters and all that stuff.
And puppies.
And puppies, of course. So I'm Brandon Kennedy. I'm just a regular guy. I like sports. I like the Blazers even more importantly. And I've been in Portland my entire life, all years. So there you go.
That was like 32.
Something like that. 32 years. I forgot for a second. Too much drinking.
So, Ryan Witty Whitledge, the Blazers, I can't even describe what my first game was like.
And that's Whitledge.
He will rant. He will ramble.
We're just gonna give it that.
And
there.
it has begun.
So no, my first game, I was raised only child of a single mother, so sports were just like, no, we don't like sports, and I lucked my way into courtside seats for my first Blazer game, and from that moment on, I was freaking sold. That I have literally sold my soul, full bore, just to be a Blazer fan.
So you heard it here first. Whitledge sold his soul.
This is true. And you've all seen how well it's panned out from that point in time. I mean, we had the 2000 finals. I mean, nobody hates the Lakers. But anyways, so Mr. Green.
I grew up wanting to be one of two people. Clyde Drexler because he was the best, or Danny Ainge because maybe one white guy could possibly play.
I was gonna say you were done in by your Clyde Drexler. You're a pasty bald white man. So
yeah, unfortunately, things didn't work out super well long term with Drexler either. But such is life. But
so what it boils down to, yeah, we're all pasty white people. I mean, he gets a natural tan. Just from being exposed.
This isn't because of the lighting. This is just my natural shade, folks.
You can call me Seamus.
He makes us all look darker in contrast. Maybe? No?
Like my winter tan.
I have no idea. We need better lighting, obviously.
Well, working on it.
We'll work on it. This is the pilot, so we're allowed to mess up on lighting and sound and presentation. So keep listening.
So
it gets better.
So that said, we should probably get into it.
Yeah. So of course. So we don't want to waste your precious time because you're gracing us with your presence and your ears.
Kiss
so presents, whatever you want to do.
Whoa, there's presents?
Yeah, we'll make a rap about this.
You brought me a gift?
So to intro this first topic, I need a beer for this because this one is dear to my heart personally. But the question is Swanigan worth a shot as a starting player on the roster?
Who do you want to give it to?
You
take it,
I know
or
my
you
position.
want to hand it off?
I know my position.
Whitledge, you're the strongest opinion. Hit me, Whitty.
So with Noah Vonleh being out for the first 2 weeks of the season with his shoulder injury,
at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's missing all of training camp, all of the preseason, and minimum first 2 weeks of the season. that is the best that Caleb Swanigan could ever have for a chance to prove himself. And if you want to go based solely off stats, so Noah Vonleh's stats in his first year in college, or well, his college statistics, because we can't sit back and try to play statistics if we're going to compare NBA versus college. Obviously. So Noah Vonleh's 30 games played, 52.3% field goal percentage, 48% on his three-pointers, 71% on his free throws. You want to compare that to Swanigan, he has almost the same amount of games played. 34%, 50% on his field goals, 37% on his three-pointers.
It's a lot of numbers.
76%.
And we know you're all following on this.
There are people at home with clipboards.
Yeah, literally
Side
writing
note.
all your stats.
Comparing,
All right, fine.
making
If you're
a
following along
T-chart.
at clipboards, that is brought to you by persportsreference.com.
So Whitty is our resident nerd in this case, and we're all nerds. So I'm really shocked that he pulled through with these stats. So mine is very basic. So I absolutely 100% believe that Swanigan should be a starter. Obviously, as a power forward, I think he fits in well to our system. He's hungry.
More of a small forward.
He's a power forward. He's a power forward.
Ish.
He's a forward. So he's definitely hungry to get some minutes in to play. That was evident, obviously, in summer league.
I hope every rookie would be.
Yeah, but you look at Swanigan versus Collins, and it's like night and day. Obviously, Collins got injured, but yeah.
Yeah, but you're kind of comparing apples and oranges as far as actually no, you're comparing apples and apples with those two, but apples and oranges to the rest of the team. Let's be honest. Swanigan had a great summer league. Today's day one of media day. I was listening to Dame talking. He said Swanigan's ready right now. Love it. Still not going to be a starter. He's just not. Even with Vonleh out, he's got to get ahead of Ed Davis for one.
Who do you want to start over him?
Realistically, we'll probably see that really common lineup where they move Chief down to the 4 with Mo at the 3, and that's probably what we're going to see starting. Those are the 5 most consistent guys last year playing, and you'll probably still see Evan Turner coming off the bench ahead of Swanigan too.
I freaking hope no matter what Evan Turner
regardless
comes off
of
the bench.
where you think anybody's at, just that's the rotation Stotts is used to playing. He's gonna usually pull CJ a little earlier, let Dame get some minutes with Turner, swap it around.
Well, this is obviously a topic that we're never going to agree on until the season starts. But one thing would be fun to do is in the comments for anyone watching us on YouTube, give us your thoughts and opinions. Do you think Swanigan's going to be starting? Obviously, if this happens in 2 weeks and you see it in 2 weeks, don't cheat. But if you go on there and you have a feeling that he will start, let us know what you think. If not, let us know what you think. Either way, let us know what you think. It'd be great.
So Brandon would like to know what you think. We're just
Obviously,
throwing that out there.
That seems to be the case.
You got to engage the audience. You got to engage. So I think that was a nice little intro, obviously, but I think the one topic we're going to have a lot of disagreement on, especially as we get down below our top 5, is going to be our roster rankings. So I think it's fitting for the first pilot episode to really run through every player. Obviously, there's 14 spots. There's a 15th spot open still. And I already speculate who I think will be there.
I filled my 15th spot. In fact,
I left my 15th open.
So I filled my 15th spot with who I believe will take that 15th spot. However, I don't believe that 15th spot will be ranked at that 15th spot.
Yeah, I would. My 15th spot
Just
is ranked way higher.
Tossing it out there. Yeah. I'll give you each $5. You're all throwing Anthony Morrow.
Anthony Morrow. Yeah.
Well. What are we throwing $5 at? I don't even know. I just
we all have Anthony Morrow.
Oh well, of course. Yeah. Who else would it be?
Me. I say they release him and then leave it open. Cap space.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a really small contract.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Like $2 million.
Cap space.
No.
Well, you're already over the tax line.
No, you don't need to worry the tax line until what?
The time the bill comes
Well, at
due?
least we're not Carmelo Anthony
Yeah.
over the tax line.
Whoa, you're getting ahead of yourself. there,
Touche.
bro.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so we're ranking.
Yeah.
All right, so
You
should
go
we
on
start number 1?
I'm pretty sure we all have the same first
I
three.
feel like there's going to be a really small conversation on any of this. Number 1,
Yeah.
so Damian Lillard.
Yeah, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, duh. Has
So-
anybody seen The Shot?
Yeah.
Just
Just-
throwing that out there.
Yeah, you know, his entire career in 0.7 of a
Side
second.
note, also good rapper. Check out his new album.
I heard he has a pair of kicks that he represents, and that he also
Does he have a shoe
does
contract?
does a bit of the the singing into the microphone stuff.
I think
yeah.
they call
Well.
that rapping.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of singing in there. All right, so number 2, we're all shocked to find
And
C.J. McCollum.
one, two, three, CJ.
McCollum,
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, you know, picking the 1 and 2. I mean, any Blazer fan with with eyeballs that are being able to be used to see properly.
Has anybody seen a guy better break down a defense with his dribble
Yeah. Well,
than
I mean,
CJ?
now granted, CJ
In modern day NBA.
Now CJ is, I believe, holds the NBA for the past 2 years for the most this distance traveled on the court. So I think he holds that.
Yeah, he's.
No. Well,
I don't know if it was a record, but I think he was toward the top of the
Yeah,
league.
yeah. No,
Well, at least for the year he was top most traveled.
yes,
So
most miles traveled on the court.
I don't know if you call it miles traveled.
I mean, I didn't see him wearing a
Greatest
Fitbit out there,
distance
but
traveled. Yeah.
so number 3, we're gonna start with you,
Yeah,
Brandon.
so I feel like this is where we're gonna probably break down a little bit more.
Ooh.
But for me, I have no problem putting the Nurk. I have absolute Nurk fever in number 3 here. When he came in, yeah. I'm also sweating because the room is extremely hot.
Wait, hold on. You said we were splitting. How did you chose someone not named
Yep.
Nurkic?
Yeah. So
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm the
well,
outlier.
well,
It's
we'll
you
just
two.
we'll have the Nurk
Don't read my
conversation
notes,
first.
damn it.
We'll have the Nurk conversation first,
Yeah.
which is last year there was literally two technically 3 sections of the year. There was the part where we all wanted to kill ourselves. There was the part where
That's
Nurkic
most of
saved
Blazer
our
fandom.
lives. And then there was the part where we screamed, no, not his knees,
Yeah.
not his legs. Dear God, no, not again.
Oh, that was every time Chief held the ball for me. So
like the curse of the Rip City Bees, or the Rip City Centers, however, how that, whatever
In
that is.
particular.
all right.
But you know what, but as far as Nurk goes, when he came in, I didn't really know what to think. I know that, I admit that I was a little disappointed that we lost.
You know what his
Plumlee.
weight was when he came in?
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
309 pounds.
But I also
when he got traded.
I felt like Plumlee was doing fairly decent in our system.
Not at 309 pounds.
So when he left, I was like, great. Who do we get? Some guy from Denver.
They're castaway.
Yeah, they're castaway. So I was like, great. We freed up some from Kevin Cap, whatever. And now we got this garbage.
And he didn't speak to volleyballs.
And he came in and started crushing it in our system, hitting those double doubles almost every game. The enthusiasm, how the fans responded to him, how the team responded to him.
He could hit an 18-foot jumper.
He's actually someone to be concerned about when you drive into the hoop against the Blazers.
Oh, the pick and pop.
He made a lot of difference.
Yeah.
It's just a big body and solid. All right.
Which is
Any
why
other thoughts you've got on Nurk? Because when you say him for whatever number you're going to have,
And the first beer spilt for the podcast goes
luckily
to
it's on
Witty.
the rug.
It was for the homies.
Yes. Because we all hold our beers like real men.
I'm
And he needs to squat down and put it on the carpet. Yeah. No. I'm going to hold my beer, my delicious 10-barrel beer. Anyways.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for that. All right.
Yeah, no. Soon.
brought to you by Woodmere.
All right. Any thoughts you've got on Nurkic?
No, you go ahead. I'll
I gave mine. He made all the difference
Let's
in the
let him go
world.
in the Nurk when he decides when he
Yeah.
finds
No.
Nurk
So
on his
where's your
list.
number 3, Ryan?
Clearly, it's Nurk. It's
Yeah,
all
no
about the
question about that.
Nurkic.
All right.
who do you
fine.
have?
Fine. My number 3 is Mo Harkless.
I like Mo.
He's the best. His defense mixed with his offensive skill set, his ability to knock down a 3-pointer from the perimeter on a bailout 3. You can't find a more valuable player outside Dame and CJ with him. That, in all honesty, he has the 3rd best 3-point percentage of every Trailblazer that has taken at least 2 shots a game.
I would make the argument that Mo is probably the best bang for the buck on the team contract-wise, other than probably Nurkic, because Nurkic is still on a rookie scale.
Can you name who has the most statistical best 3-point percentage shot on the team?
Statistically,
AC.
wouldn't that be CJ?
I thought that was
No. Third
Not-
best.
he's not on the team
Third
anymore,
best.
but-
we're excluding Dame. We're excluding CJ. Who is the third best statistical 3-point shot?
Didn't you just say it was Mo?
No, I said with at least 2. But
Oh,
I'm
with at
talking in
least 2.
totality.
Oh, okay. So that many per game? Okay, well, it's
I mean, I would say Crab, but he's gone, so...
probably
Napier.
not.
Napier
yeah,
at
Shabazz.
1.9.
Oh,
Okay.
for minutes played.
Napier at 1.9 per game. But Harkless has what is that according to my tiny handwriting? That is 2.7 per game. And that is the third highest on the team with
But-
the best percentage. That is a bailout corner 3. He has a 37% chance on a corner 3. He has a 35% chance on the high arc, and he has a 32% chance on the straightaway 3. That is your best bailout option with your best defense on the team.
And, you know, obviously...
Are you
like,
calling Mo one of the best defenders on the team?
Correct.
I would put him number 3.
Yeah, okay, so I won't put him as the best defender. I will put him as the best all-around.
He's a high contributor.
So I can obviously
you're
throw
going
my...
to give Chief over him with that dribble drive bullcrap?
I would actually give it to Turner over him.
Oh.
Yeah, easily. All right, so speaking of breaking away, let's go to number 4.
I think our 4s and 3s are kind of, you know, intermixed here. Obviously, you know, for me,
I'm giving my
mine's-
4 to Yusuf.
Yeah, mine is Harkless for 4.
He's a defensive center who excels at the pick and pop.
So we're gonna
Pick and roll.
talk. We're gonna talk all around. My number 4 breaks from both of you guys, and I go straight to Chief.
Oh.
Al-Farouq
Ooh,
Aminu.
sorry, I gotta roll a couple pages there for that.
Oh man, no, dude. When he's on the court, he is a consistent,
He
stabilizing
needs to be on the court
force.
on the bench.
No, he is a stabilizing presence on the court. He doesn't act harshly. He makes his shots most of the time when he's not fighting injuries. He can handle. He's an
Ish.
all-around. He can handle. He gets the ball. He demands attention when he has the ball. I'll put it that way.
How many times have you seen that fake pull-up
Yeah.
dribble drive
Yeah,
3 that
it-
you
it-
haven't had to like choke down some throw-up?
His 2 moves are pretty predictable. I mean, we all see it coming, and we all cringe when we know he's gonna miss it,
And
you know?
and then they work a surprisingly high percentage of the
but what-
time.
he's
on his bailouts.
Yeah, but he's like Leonard in that regard. Like when he's hot, and when he's not, I mean, you're just like, God damn it! Like, come on.
Shh, don't just leave Leonard alone. We'll get to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a while.
We all have-
There's a lot of roster spots here, dude.
So I think for the sake of this though, I think, you know, instead of deterring, yeah, I think we should definitely stay like, you know, if we have our 5th, we all disagree. Let's just explain it and then bring
Yeah.
it. So it'll be so from this point on.
Well, I would
listeners,
say,
it's going to be a lot of
honestly,
disagreement.
I would say, you know, let's have the conversation about the guy. We can breeze over a guy if we've already talked through him with somebody else. So, okay, that was number 4's. Where are we
So,
at for number 5?
where was your number 4?
My 5.
No, where was your 4?
My
You
4
haven't
was
offered-
Harkless. Yeah, I said
Your
Harkless.
4 was Harkless, so
Yeah.
you just swapped?
Yeah.
All
Well, you
right.
two just traded spots.
Yeah, that's what I
Takesy
said.
backsies.
So my 5 is probably none of these guys. So I have Swanigan as my as
I'm
number
sorry,
5.
we want pronunciation on that.
Swanigan, yeah. So
Swanigan? Swanigan.
Swanson.
Sweatigan.
Swanigan.
Samsonite. I knew there was. Anyways, so yeah, no. So Swanigan, whatever. Fuck you. So
Edit
I
check.
have him, you know, and I know it's taking a leap of faith, and I feel like at some point I have
Severe leap of faith.
yes. So
This is the most extreme leap of
so
faith.
here's my argument.
I thought
though.
I was
So-
giving him my leap of faith.
So I had to take a risk on this roster rankings because I knew that no one in this room would agree with me in this regard. Maybe like Woody a little bit, maybe. But you
I
know what,
like
though?
him. He's a good player, but he's completely
So-
unproven.
So draft day, could care less. Who's that guy? Could care less. Summer League comes around, starts to crush it, getting better. Mind blown. So for me, like coming into the season, yeah, literally, I'm gonna put it like a GIF or Giphy or Jiffy, whatever you want to call him. There's an
Call
argument for
him
that.
So,
Yeah.
so here's the problem I have with your logic on that. Let's,
Sure.
for the sake of argument, say Myers Leonard shows up this season
Oh,
And
as we've been hoping that he has the last two?
Only 2?
Yeah.
It goes back a lot further than that.
I gave him his first. That was gift wrap.
Well, he's like year 5 now, isn't he?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
He
Oh
got
my God.
drafted-
Trade
he got
Myers Leonard.
drafted with Dame.
Yeah.
So anyway, say Myers shows up this season. He hits 3 threes a game. He gets 2 dunks a game. And he's averaging
Myers Leonard
6 to
capable
8
of dunking?
rebounds. Yeah, actually, he's had some really fun highlight dunks. Those are the only ones
2
he
a
gets.
season.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
roundabout.
7'2". How could he not dunk? He stands there and dunks it. Okay,
So
anyways,
all of that
I
said,
digress.
so say he does all of that and averages, so what's that, like 10 points a game, 6 to 8 rebounds. What would be considered a respectable backup center season?
No, that would be
I would
based
kill
on your
for 10 and
logic
6.
of, well, I expected nothing from Nurk and he's amazing, so now he's up here. And I expected nothing from Swanigan and he's amazing. You might just be calling Myers Leonard the MVP if he produces solid
Words
backup.
will never leave my mouth. Words
It's
will
just
never
that's the
leave my
type
mouth.
of logic. Oh man, how many times are you gonna drop your beer?
Yeah. That's number 2. Same person.
Empty.
I'm gonna have a count.
Why are you pouring beer on my carpet? Oh, it's abroad, but still.
Yeah. So this is we
Edit
refer
that
to
shit
this
out.
as witty logic, and you'll be very familiar with it by the end of the season. So
Hi guys.
yeah. So again, we're obviously gonna disagree. I'm taking a huge risk, but however, the beauty of media and content is that it's immortalized. So you heard it here first. Swanigan is gonna have a breakout season. He's gonna get, if we can, well, hopefully, Ball has a crappy ass year, and Swanigan becomes.
Well, his
Rookie of
dad
the Year.
will maintain that he is a crappy ass here.
The attention.
Put the beer right here. Put the beer right here. It's gonna drive me nuts.
The attention Ball's gonna get is going to give him a big fat advantage on Rookie of the Year.
All right.
But Swanigan does stand a
So,
shot.
anyways, let's
He's got a chance.
Let's
But
pause,
that said,
point
be
for
back.
editing.
Yeah,
And go.
There's no editing here. This is about as raw as it gets. Raw.
All right, so you were your 5, so it now comes down to my 5. All right, so
I don't believe this.
No, I'm sorry. I'm giving him the high praise. Shabazz Napier
Wow.
is my number 5.
No.
Shabazz Napier is my number 5. The one true point guard that can spell Damian Lillard. I'm sorry. I spent all of last season watching that whole duality. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, we're going to split one guy for the other kind of thing.
I
am totally against that. Give them both a freaking rest. You find a true point guard that can spell a guy. You find a true shooting guard that can spell a guy. And you let them be on your second unit.
I actually would make an argument that CJ, statistically, you look at it, CJ plays his best basketball by a ton when Dame's on the floor for obvious reasons.
Correct.
People have to look at the other guy.
Correct.
It might be worth letting them play off together a little more. But that said, that's going to be a little riskier than Stotts likes to run most of the time.
I'm giving Shabazz the benefit of the doubt. He at the tail end of last season, he showed he can play true point guard in the NBA. And this is also not a guy who was coming in like signed dirt cheap on his rookie season. This is, for lack of a better term, a veteran in the NBA that knows an NBA system, that knows his style. This is a guy that got brought into Stotts style and near the end of the season proved he can work in it. I would like to see him at the start of the season literally spell Dame. And I think he can do it.
I mean, okay, if I'm willing to put Swanigan in my top 5, I mean, I have to let Shabazz.
I hate to say this, but I think rank 5, we all got to that spot in making our list, and we were like, well, who's someone that I like? The other 2 guys are going to roll their eyes when they hear that for. Because Shabazz is that guy for me. I like him. He's great. But
You have him at 5?
no.
I thought that's where you were going.
No,
with
if you want to
this.
talk about the surprise guy at number 5, that's going to make you guys hate me a little
If you
bit.
tell me Vonleh,
Oh
I'm
God, Myers Leonard.
No, Evan Turner.
Oh,
Second best defender on our team.
no.
Actually had a
It takes me to
really solid plus
the bottom
minus.
of my page is ET.
No, that's not. Yeah,
Had
that's
a
number
really
7,
solid
folks.
plus minus. Up until he broke his hand, it took him a while. He had a slow start. He did.
He did
but
not
on the
have
back
a solid
end,
plus minus at the beginning of the season.
no, not at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
For a chunk, right about the time Nurkic came, the same time the
Okay,
Von Lay
okay.
turned around, Evan Turner kind of turned around
because
also.
if you were giving ET the like plus part of the season, I was gonna be like,
No.
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 Statistics
First half,
tell
not
you
at all.
otherwise.
It took him a while to warm up, but then the funny thing was, after Nurk got hurt, he still kept producing. Unlike Von Lay, who, really, really heavily benefited from having
Well,
Nurk next to him.
His hand's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have a
masturbating,
healthy,
man.
strong hand.
Gotta have a good old strong hand.
Gotta
We all know
have a
what that's
strong,
like.
solid hand.
You need a good
Oh,
tug.
And so sounds like we're up to 6. So are we
Yeah,
gonna
so-
snake this? Should we go back forward, or are we just gonna keep going through the lineup?
Oh, I mean, let's just keep rolling. So,
All right,
Number
hit it.
6.
Yeah,
There you go.
Mine's Al-Farouq Aminu, for all the obvious reasons.
There's no obvious reasons.
There is
on
obvious
that.
reasons. I mean,
No, he's solid.
He's a solid player. However, my biggest disappointment with him is, like I said, the Myers Leonard comment, is that when he's hot, it's like anybody in our system that, like, for instance, like Batum. I really like Batum, but I really dislike Batum when he got cold. Like when he was just not feeling the game.
So you mean
he
like
was
every
so,
3 games?
Exactly. He was so dry, and he couldn't connect with anything, and he had no momentum. And then when he was on fire, crowd cheered. He felt good. I feel like that's the way with the Chief. When he's doing good, he gets into it. He starts screaming. He gets his like Chief. Ah.
He has moments, but I don't know. I think I don't think he has that high of highs and that low of lows. He's got a few really good highs,
Like when
but his lows aren't that bad.
But when he's got momentum,
is
and he makes that
stable.
dunk or he,
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah.
No,
gets
he is
into it.
he is an entertaining guy when he gets on.
so I-
Especially
In fact, he looks like he's stoned as all can be.
that really helps because when he all of a sudden looks like, no, I'm a monster, it's out of character and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I do actually slightly have to agree with Brandon here. So I did put Chief as my number 6. But I put him there for one reason and one reason alone, and that is his long arm defense. I do agree with you on your Batum comparison, but I swear to God, the amount of times in the season that I had to sit there and watch that fake pull up 3, dribble drive, I'm going to lose the ball, turnover, whatever.
Yeah.
It ate a part of my soul every time.
Yeah,
The only reason that Chief is on my list that high is because of his defense.
I do agree that the skills in his quiver at which he pulls from is not versatile. So I mean, again, he's got a few moves. Hopefully, he picks up some more moves in the offseason and
Yeah,
during
like
camp.
one being making a shot.
Yeah, and 2 being his little pump fake thing that got really old really fast. So again,
Side note, second play of the season.
yeah. So again, I regardless of all that, I still have him ranked at 6. But again, I took a risk on number 5. So yeah, 7. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with
Whoa.
You're forgetting Ryan.
completely bypassed.
Wait, where were you at with 6? We had Chief, and who did you have for 6?
I had Chief.
You both rocked Chief. I had him at 4. So I have to go back and catch up with some of the guys you guys caught earlier, and I had Harkless. Mo Harkless at 6.
You dropped Mo. so
I
far
put him
down
a
the
little
list.
bit down, but I'm still trying not to be too attached. He is the best.
He's your new Batum, isn't he?
He is the best trade bait we have right now. If we're going
And
to
we all
move
saw how
someone
well that worked out.
this time, but this time the Knicks would
Let's
have
be clear. Let's be clear, because Melo just did
Yeah.
not want to come to Portland.
No, this was that.
I hate
This was
rain
all
and
mellow.
beaches.
I hate
It had
teams that have
nothing
potential.
to do.
We'll
with,
get into that later.
Yeah, had nothing to do with Harkless. New York was tripping over themselves to get Mo Harkless. I don't even. They didn't say who it was.
New
Portland
York
was really
was
professional.
probably tripping over
You
themselves
know
to
it.
get Pat Connaughton.
Connington, Myers Leonard.
Still to come.
Bundle. Yeah.
Just token white
Looking
guy.
on-
So number 7.
amount of cash consideration.
Number 7, Kennedy. What you got over there?
Yeah, so I've got Vonleh for 7. You know, once you get down the list a little bit more, I feel like we have descriptions, have probably less description about this, but really, despite
Really?
the fact
Because
that,
as my list went on, I got more descriptions.
oh really? Well, I actually got descriptive too on my list, but you know, I said, you know, really, I got to give Vonleh some respect. You know, for the most part, you know, he puts up the points. Yeah, marginal rebounder, but he's very versatile in his spot. Like, he could obviously play different roles. So, I mean, all in all, he fits where he's needed. He's good, but right now he's injured. And even considering that, again, he's not like he's putting up double-digit points. I mean, he's averaging 3, 4, 5 points a game. I mean, he's a good
roll
player.
back a page and I can give you...
Yeah. Either way, we don't need stats because, y'all don't need stats.
We don't need
Internet's
details.
Internet's for details. Also,
It's for wild speculation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if I ever get around to it, I will put all the stats in the description.
That's not what I thought you were pointing at. I'm going to jump in here because I had Vonleh at 7 also.
Oh, there.
Are you in on this too?
No, I haven't turned it.
Oh, that's... Okay, well...
I don't have Vonleh till my next page.
Yeah, Vonleh is... He is a frustration to me because he is a project and he is developing, but I just want him to develop faster. I mean, it could be worse. He could be Myers Leonard. No development whatsoever.
We're going to get a fat head of Myers
racist cues right there.
But Vonleh's at least every few months you notice, oh, hey, he added a mover. Oh, hey, he's doing that thing. And it's actually working, rebounding. He's actually able to do that now.
He braided his hair
Yeah,
now.
actually, I was just going to point out, last season, I couldn't tell you a single play. However, I did notice that he grew his hair out and then he cut it. So, like I said, the big controversial topic of the season was how long is he going to let his hair get? And then he cut it all off. And then it was just regular old Myers Leonard. I like the hair. I think it made him look different.
Side note, Myers Leonard bitched to his wife. She said nay.
So remember, like, when Alan Crabb, was like, had the short hair, like, he had the big ears. Mm-hmm. And then he, like, all of a sudden...
Ears don't grow or shrink.
He had big ears, but it gets his hair. And then all of a sudden, like, I think, last season? Maybe 2 seasons ago, he came out with that bleach top thing, and all of a sudden his game improved. I am convinced that there's power in the haircut.
It's the Samson theory. Vonleh's just he's
the chasing bald guy. I'm not giving power to the hair.
So that's why I grow beard.
Yeah, we apologize in advance for that for all that glare. So we worked on the lighting, and he just completely
I shouldn't be contributing to this.
So should we just go? Should we even let him talk about Turner?
I mean, we've talked Turner.
Yeah, my 7 Turner. I'm giving him. I put him as 7. I really hope that after a year of playing under Stott's system and not having to now get used to it, he doesn't have to, he got injured like a quarter of the way through the season with his broken hand last year. I really think that he has found a way to, at the tail end of last season, to play with Dame and CJ. I think he knows how to properly play off the ball with them. He came from a Boston team that was totally player dominant, you create your own shot, and that is not the system he came into with Portland. So I'll give him, it takes you a year to adapt.
Well, right.
And I love his defense, but please, for the love of God, don't take 3-pointers.
All right,
well,
so
I have ET at 8, so I mean, we don't need to really go a whole lot into why ET is 8. Again, I feel like there's now that AC's gone, I feel like he fits into that second role better. Mm-hmm. So.
Inching right along then. Who do you got for 8?
Caleb Swanigan.
Well, he's bound to show up on all of our lists eventually.
There's only 14 filled spots, so I would hope so.
Yeah. No, he'll be a solid rotation player.
No, I'm gonna give him, and apologies here. You can all take a drink for it later, but he's a high motor player. High energy player. He has a lot to prove, and I literally do think that he is the biggest window that has opened up to him out of anybody on the roster with Vonleh going down.
100%.
I fully believe that.
No, he goes from deep bench garbage time to rotation on the backups.
Correct.
It gives him a shot to seal.
He can play power forward, and he can play small forward.
You're gonna see
he has a multiple of options.
Again.
We'll see some of him.
Hopefully in the beginning.
Hopefully
that's my
he'll develop.
8. That's my 8.
My 8, and this is where I expanded my list to 15 players. This is where I put Anthony Morrow. He is He is built for this team. He is not a good defender by any means,
but we need another one of those.
But he is the weak spot we had last season. What was it? We kept missing threes. We didn't have weirdly enough, we had a system built around threes.
Who was a catch and shoot 3-pointer.
Yeah,
He just
and now
didn't
he's
connect.
gone, and we just found a cheaper guy who is a more consistent 3-point shooter
100%.
who will come off the bench. He'll probably be the second to last guy off the bench, probably play 10 minutes a game, but he's going to be a consistent source for
Yeah,
threes.
so the garbage time and the blowouts. There
So
we go.
I have Morrow on my list, and that was going to be the 15th spot, not per ranking.
I didn't even fill out my 15th
So
spot.
I actually had Morrow at my 9th spot as well. So, or no, sorry, not your head.
I had him at 8, but
Okay,
yeah.
I had him at 9 originally.
Rolling over.
But I just kept the 15th spot, a speculation. But I actually believe he'll play 15 minutes. Absolutely, he'll be a backup. And again, I feel like he's a more consistent Crab. Crab, was kind of underwhelming for his contract. For the price we get Morrow for, like, what, $2 million a year? Like, I really feel like we're going to get a high performer. So there's a...
So
There's
is that
no
your
question.
number 8 or your
No.
number 9? Then
That's my fake number 9. But my number 9 is actually Shabazz.
we're on number 8, bro.
I thought we passed it.
No, we were
You
doing
Swanigan.
We were doing number 8.
Yeah, I said Turner.
Yeah.
You said Swanigan, and you said Morrow.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my number 8.
oh,
and
so
your
you-
number
you
9 was
brought it back
Morrow.
to 9.
Yeah,
I said
he rolled it
I
up.
said Shabazz. Yeah.
All right, then I'm literally telling you. So my token white guy, Pat Connaughton, is my number 9. So it's only because of the giant gaping hole that was left over from the Allen Crabbe trade in the shooting guard backup.
You know that he barely made the roster.
There's this guy named Evan
So
Turner,
did
right?
every other shooting guard on the roster.
No. There was
There's also Jake Lehman.
You leave Mr. Hare alone. I will discuss him later. But Pat Connaughton, I think, has the most beautiful stroke, and he's now, 2 years under Stott system? I'm giving him number 9. He has a giant door left. He has a giant door left open without Crabbe being on the roster, and
The biggest door left open for him is to Major League Baseball, where he really probably would be a solid
and if
player.
he had an option at that was that lull period in the offseason where the Blazers weren't picking him up, and neither was MLB. I'm just throwing it out there. Pat Connaughton is my number 9.
And there you go, folks. That is Whitledge's number 9 spot. The
That
almost
is-
guy.
That is the probably should be cut pick of the night. Pushed way too high. Speaking of number 9s, we can skip over mine more or less because we've all said everything we think already about Swanigan. So that's where I stuck
You
him.
put Swanigan at 9?
Oh, yeah.
What is wrong with you,
It's
man?
probably a little high, realistically.
Yeah, says the guy who put Connington in his 9th
Yeah,
spot.
yeah.
don't care.
Connaughton barely made my list, and he's on the roster.
Hey,
he's
I'm
got a
just spilling
guaranteed
beers
contract.
here.
I'm just chasing my token white guy roster. I just want my 5 white guys on the court at the same time. I have no qualms about it. 5 white guys on the basketball court at the same time.
So, anyway, moving past Donald Trump, Brandon, we're looking back at you. Who is your number 10 pick?
Yeah, so number 10 here, I feel like it's pretty going to be pretty consistent with us. I have Ed Davis sitting there in the 10 spot. Mr. ED, some little education.
Ed Davis,
Yeah, there we go.
my number 10 also.
Me and Mr.
Not
Green.
mine.
Yeah, big surprise there. Oh, I wasn't even going to announce who you have down there. Okay, but before we go back into who, because we've all thought this individual for Whitledge was higher ranked. Would you like to talk about why you think?
Well, Ed Davis, realistically, I almost put him at 9 ahead of Swanigan. I just feel like Swanigan's got enough upside to where he might be able to steal it. Davis was hurt with injuries last year.
gets in
If
his
we
own
go
head
back
too
a
much.
year and a half,
He gets in
Ed
his
Davis
head too
was
much.
one of our favorite players. He's still one of my favorite players. I
He's
love
one of my
a
favorite
working
players,
class,
but he gets in his head too much.
mid-range. Oh, he's fine. He pulls through. I don't know
He
that
has
I've
amazing
seen.
hair, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen anything that makes me think he's in his head too much. He's not Myers Leonard. He's
You leave
consistent.
spot 15 alone.
Yeah, pretty consistently, I'm sure. So
but for someone who's a power forward, like I don't.
he hustles.
Yeah, I mean, he said he hustles. I like to see some more consistency. I know it's a loose statement you can say for any player, but again, we're talking about our 10 through 15 spots right at this point. I think consistency is going to be pretty
No,
much-
these are all going to be guys that play in flashes.
Yeah, I
from
was going to
here.
say, I think we've now hit the limit of that, it's either a blowout win or a blowout loss kind of players.
So expect the worst, folks, but keep on listening.
All right, number 11.
So my number 10
Oh, did we skip your 10? That's right,
You
we
skipped
did.
my 10.
Whoops.
Yeah,
My number 10 is Noah Vonleh,
Oh,
who I
mistakes
am
were
putting
made.
ahead of Ed Davis.
And that will be one of our starters, folks.
And behind
soon.
Pat Connaughton.
Correct. Because I am firmly in the belief that Noah Vonleh will lose
Because
his starting spot
Connaughton-
to Caleb Swanigan.
Eventually-
I am firmly in the belief that
Unless he
not
blows
eventually.
Stotts' mind.
Because of the fact that Noah Vonleh is currently injured right now, that leaves
Okay,
the door open
hold on.
for Swanigan.
Hold on.
Do I need to?
Are we going to make a
So
bet?
I'm feeling
Are
it's
we
it.
going to make a bet? Because I'm feeling like right here, you are saying
want a secondary bet?
that outside of barring injuries, Swanigan will always play over Vonleh.
I'll give Swanigan more minutes over the course of the season than Vonleh.
That I won't give because I think Swanigan will develop over the season faster than Vonleh has.
That's the minimum of the bet I'm willing
That's
to go.
what you were making it sound like. Vonleh's out with injury. By the time he comes back, it's already Swanigan's spot, and
No.
Vonleh doesn't start. Not a chance.
No, I don't think Vonleh will start.
Now,
But I'm giving him solid second rotation minutes.
I am speculating though that Swanigan comes in and just blows Stotts' mind.
Blows the swan.
Yeah, blows the swan. Yeah, no pun intended.
Hashtag blows the swan.
Yes. Hashtag blows a swan. I don't know how. Wait, blows a swan. Blows a swan.
So who's number 11 for you, Brandon?
Yeah. So this one is gonna be a little rough because I know how everyone feels about him, but you know what? I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I feel like it's time for him to prove himself.
Oh
This
God.
last time.
Oh, God.
I actually have Myers Leonard.
Oh God.
So
And
Okay.
side note, folks, that's where we sign off
I
for
will
the
give
night.
him all the grief all season long. I've been so disappointed with Leonard every fucking season. Pardon my French, but I'm that passionate about it.
I will say this. When I was making my list,
Oh, I found him. There we go.
when I was making my list, I almost put Myers here.
Really?
Almost. And here's why. Based on proven results so far in their careers, Myers versus everybody from here on out, he actually has a more or less better record. The problem is he has underperformed every season, except for that one playoff series against Memphis. That was great. I started a Myers Leonard chant in the
one
Moda
series that
Center.
we lost.
But that's that. I've given up all hope on him. He claims to have had some of the best coaching of his off-season life. He claims to be a new man, a better player than he's ever been.
Has, based off trade bait.
And I will
We'll
say
find out.
that my decision is based off of all this new all this new mindset and training stuff. Like to be fair, I want to believe in Myers Leonard. I want to hope for the best because we certainly pay up the ass for this guy.
Side note, don't come in with the haircut you had last year.
Well,
I think we can
I
all
like the
agree on
haircut.
giving-
No,
Really?
I like the haircut.
You like the hairband?
I like
What
the band.
is
Come
wrong
on,
with
man.
you?
given salary cap, we aren't paying that much for
We're
him.
paying like $10 million
Yeah,
a year for this
10
guy.
mil a year.
And look at the rest of the contract
Yeah,
structure.
no,
we got him on the
he's
cheap.
he's like our 8th or 9th highest paid player.
Yeah.
He's not.
Still, I have him ranked lower than salary.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean-
if we're going with my number 12, that's where I'm throwing my token draft.
Number 11, you mean?
Oh, if we're going back up to 11, I thought we already talked about Ed Davis.
I think you threw him in because he'd already came up with somebody else.
Throw it to
Yeah,
12.
so there you go.
All right,
12 looks more interesting.
Well, hold on.
So-
I've got to throw my 11 out here.
Oh.
Because this will be the
Clearly we need to prove this.
first time this name comes out so far.
No, please be it. Please be it.
Jake Layman.
Damn it.
Whoa!
By one.
And here's why the first two
It's his hair,
games
isn't it?
he played, he had better stats than Michael Jordan
15 points in one game. Really?
on a permanent
I
basis.
literally killed
It
his
was
beer. I'm so disappointed.
I think there's a lot of hope for him.
Side note,
It's-
Uber Beers will take a delivery now.
He is last year's trash time MVP. He is the best garbage time
You're
player
talking
we
him
had.
up to new Luke Babbitt status?
Oh, I'd easily have him over Luke Babbitt. Come on. I mean, he's not giving us chalupas, but he's still pretty solid.
Hashtag death
To be
chalupas.
fair, I had Layman in a suit this entire season, so
There we go.
No, I
mean,
think he'll come back around.
It's true, but
give me a break.
I don't have a 15. Leave me alone.
I
For
think he
everyone
will
listening to this
correct.
podcast, I'm pointing out the fact that I see where he's got Leonard, and I'm just shocked. Anyways, I digress.
Yep.
So
So, that's all I'll say
that
with
was
late.
your number-
That was my number 11.
Okay,
sorry.
so
Yeah,
now
that was my 11.
so now we've caught up to the number 12. My number 12 is Zach Collins, the
I like
crappy white guy from Gonzaga. That I am totally bitter about the fact that they drafted as high as they did, because I'm sorry, that was a man
Yes.
that couldn't start on a team. It took an injury to get him into the starting lineup, and for all the big men that are currently on the roster, I'm putting him at damn near the tail end of it.
Yeah.
I think there's hope for him.
I
That
sure as
said-
hell hope there's hope for him.
That said, I've got him there too. That's
I mean,
my spot 12.
I'm sure we all
It's a
listened
good
to,
spot for
to
him.
Rip City Report. You know, not plugging anybody here, but I heard that there was some previews to the training, and I heard he's looking really good. I will throw that out there, but it's speculation.
I would.
Oh, so coming up on the season, a guy who underperformed in the preseason and summer league is looking rather good after having some workouts and whatnot.
Go figure, right?
Shocked face.
Man, I feel like
Insert
that is
shot.
not a cliche I hear every single
No.
media week.
Well, I have Mr. Patty.
Patty cakes?
Yeah, Patty Cakes.
Pat
and-
Connaughton.
is my number 12. So
Wow. I feel like he should be everyone's
just-
last pick, not named Myers Leonard, but okay.
yeah, mine get worse.
You're all
so-
dead to me.
Yeah, I mean, so do we want to go into our 12? I mean, or you did?
I
Yeah,
already went
my number 12 was Zach Collins. I'm right there with Ryan. I think he's got a shot at cracking the rotation. That said, for being as high a draft pick as he is,
I mean, yeah,
And
Uh,
especially getting injured in
yeah.
the summer league.
he should be a back of the rotation, but still in the regular rotation,
In
playing
my-
every night. Guy
in my mind, he
with opportunities
challenges
to be better.
Myers Leonard. That's
yeah,
what it
I
is.
see him playing.
No
like,
spoilers there.
You know, what 6-7 minutes a game, maybe
In
I-
a blowout.
every
I
game.
over the course of the average of the season, 4, 5 maybe.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah,
All right.
I have
All
Zach
right.
Collins as my 13th spot. You know, I have him down there pretty low. Again, I wasn't very excited about him in summer league. I know it's all we have to look at, except for like, you know, if you ever watched a Gonzaga game other than, you know, March Madness. Ugh. Hitting pedals over here. Silence.
awkward
Yeah,
pause.
So, no editing. There is
Edit
no
point.
editing.
Edit point.
Don't edit anything. So
moving right along.
yeah. Anyways, Zach Collins, number 13 spot here. I'm not really feeling it. I would agree. I'm gonna say low minutes. Gonna be like the backup of the backup. Maybe. You know, he needs to really prove himself in like I said,
All
training camp.
aspects of the basketball game.
Yeah. I say Stotts puts him in, proves his point. Like, granted, he is he's a first round pick, 10 spot. I mean, I think it's only fair to prove yourself in the system, but you have to earn that. I think Swanigan comes in at a higher rank just for the hustle.
I think Collins is literally used as, for lack of a better term, Leonard bait. Like it is literally like so Myers Leonard, you want to go do better than that? That is what I think his role will be.
It's plausible.
So and that was that
13 spot.
13
13
spot.
13 spot. My 13 spot is Jake Layman. I maintain if this list was based off hair, he'd be my number 1. Because that man
I'd
has
be
an
number one.
amazing hairdo. I don't care. He can, in the most blowout game, no matter what side, he can run up and down the court. And it's so perfect. It's kind of similar to this, but better.
So hey,
I have an
But
ungodly
at
amount of sloppy clay
the
here.
same point in time, I maintain that any shooting guard on this roster, any guy who can play shooting guard on this roster, has the world's most wide open spot with the absence of Crab. Crab had locked down the second rotation shooting guard spot, and he's gone. So prove yourself, earn your minutes.
Evan Turner,
Prove your
man.
point.
Evan Turner's gonna
Evan
eat up
Turner
a lot of
can
those minutes.
never be a freaking shooting guard. He is-
Jake Layman has a shot because of it. In a related note, down a couple steps below Jake Layman on my count,
Are you saying that Turner
is
has no shot at being a shooting guard?
a backup shooting guard.
A backup shooting guard.
Yeah,
No.
I think you're
He's
wrong.
He's either a starting shooting guard or a backup small
Oh, I
forward.
thought you were questioning that he wasn't a shooting guard in general.
No. He's either a starting shooting guard or a backup small forward.
God, I was like, whoa. Okay, this is.
Does that make more sense to you
Okay,
now
here
that
we
I've
go.
heard?
So at number 13 for me, not nearly at number 5, is Shabazz Napier.
Wow, way to blow up my list.
That's
there,
Whitty's
bro.
number 5
Way
spot.
to blow up my list there, bro.
Yeah, it's,
Sorry, just spell Damien. And
I
we're good.
like Shabazz actually. I love seeing him on the court. Not since Patty Mills has there been a guy who I love watching play.
Don't you bring that name into this room. I am still bitter about
own
it.
Who
What
I
is he making,
trust will
20
go
point-
somewhere else and do
20.2 million a
really,
year?
really well, but is probably not going to do it here. He's fine. He's going to get more minutes
He's
this season.
serviceable.
He's serviceable, but
My
I have nothing to be excited about
My
with him.
biggest
He's
reason-
god awful on defense.
This is true. So is Dame.
He
so is
is-
Dame.
He is not a ball handler. He is a ball tripper. But he does have moments and highlights and flashes that are amazing.
My biggest
But he's
play
out.
for
No.
Shabazz is the fact that it's literally another serviceable point guard that can spell Dame. I hate the Dame CJ trade-off. I disdain that with a passion.
I think he'll get
both
more
of your-
minutes.
Get both of your stars on the bench to rest at the same point in
Dude,
time.
You're,
Yeah,
but
well,
you're putting
It's
him
a hell of a drop off.
as your number 5 spot.
Yes.
Like a backup in your 5 spot. Backup at best. How do you justify that?
I justify it based off, can you have a serviceable backup for your best player?
A backup who should cap around 15 minutes a game.
I mean,
No, I
cap.
agree. If
He's playing 15 minutes a game, we are
Something has
losing
went
a
wrong.
lot of games.
Yeah,
A lot.
Like, however, I did to go back to my Shabazz notes. I would like to see him on the court more because I really do feel like
on the what more?
on the court more.
Okay.
So, for instance, like CJ, like he went from being like who's CJ to like 3J really quickly because he was given the opportunity.
That's what we
When we
call the
lost
name
our-
McMillan.
Yeah, when we lost our entire effing team, CJ came in and really shined. I really feel like Shabazz would shine if given the opportunity. But
Shabazz has shined given the opportunity. He's been a starting
more
point guard.
opportunity. But do we want to take that risk over the season? I don't think so. I think we let him back up more, but I don't. Will not start him. And you're suggesting
No. I'm not suggesting starting him. I'm giving him a higher placing in my ranking. I'm putting him in my starting 5 because I think having a backup point guard to Dame is more important than your 5th player on your roster. That is literally it.
So
Give
second to
Dame-
last.
Give Dame.
I think we're really in the last.
I think the last two, Brandon and I line up, and more or less, Ryan's in on the last one. Second
Yeah.
to last, Brandon and I'm going to bet you also have
that's
Pat
all-
Connaughton for 14.
No, I had Connaughton at 12.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had Myers earlier.
Side note, I had
I
Connaughton
have
at
Layman
9.
here.
You got Layman back at
Yeah.
second to last. Oh.
He
All
doesn't do it
right,
for me. He
all
doesn't
right,
do it for
Brandon.
me.
That's
No,
just
no,
because you got
I
the
have-
hair curl.
I have
That's
Layman
because
as
you
my
got the hair.
last. No.
Did you go 15 deep?
Did you?
No. I had 15th as Anthony Morrow because I really.
I didn't
Okay.
even respect the 15.
But I put him in my 9 spot, leaving everyone lower. I have Jake Layman as my last person.
Wow.
I don't feel it. I
Okay.
just don't feel it.
I think there's hope. There is hope for Layman.
I haven't felt it since he came on the court.
Somebody's
I'm-
jealous of his hair.
For a little bit, yeah.
I have
I've
no
got
jealousy for
beautiful
hair.
I mean,
full
I
hair.
can't talk either.
So
So I'm just throwing it out there. My 14 is my ultimate trade bait, Myers Leonard. I have completely given up on Myers Leonard. He is dead to me. I'm sorry if you can't hit a catch and shoot 3 on the top of the arc when nobody is guarding you because you're in your own head, you're done. I'm sorry. I've had how many seasons of him now?
Yeah.
He was drafted with Lillard. So that's what?
5, 6.
5, 6
I
seasons?
think it's 5.
Figure out your freaking role, you tall 3-point shooting white guy,
And,
excel in it. And if you
However,
can't, then you are
I
gone.
mean, to put Myers at your 14 spot, he does hit his threes.
Since when?
He hits
His last season, he averaged 28% on 3-pointers.
What I'm saying though is that he's at least
on catch and
converting.
shoot, open
He's
3-pointers.
at least attempting. Now, granted, I heard rumors
Actually, it's not that he's attempting. That's actually the problem. Is he doesn't.
I
He will
wanna
get
see
that,
Nurk, I
and
want
he
to
will
see
be
Nurk
nervous.
shoot more threes.
Oh no!
He's shot 2 in his entire career.
I know, but I want to see Nurk
He
take
shot
more attempts.
2.
Oh, folks, I'm about ready to leave.
No. That's it. I put Myers in my last spot really simply because he's Myers. Because he is the epitome of all of the hope that I have going into every season
He's
that
his
is
white Greg
dashed into the rocks.
That's his white Greg Oden.
Almost, except at least Greg can blame injuries. You can't
He went to
blame
China, and he
anything.
was like,
Yeah.
was he a coach
And
there
and
somehow?
then there was the rape accusation. There's all sorts of problems with Greg Oden. We're gonna go ahead and move out of all of that, and we're just gonna go straight back to.
All right,
So Myers Leonard, he's just the source of perpetual disappointment.
He's my new Luke
I would
Bennett.
put
That's
him.
all I
I
gotta
would
say.
rank him higher because he is a better player than a lot of guys I ranked higher. But realistically, he just. My heart has moved on. Yeah. In an unrelated note, I did skip my 14 pick, which was Pat Connaughton, but we've all said enough
I
about that.
hate you all for dropping Pat that low.
Nah, that's an easy choice.
So in closing this whole thing, Leonard, if for some weird chance you're listening to this, I believe in you. This is my last year. I mean I can't do it anymore.
My last year was last year, and I'm sorry you
it.
hesitated way too much in your shots. Yeah. Anybody, you want to make your closing statement to Myers Leonard?
Yeah, sure. I've got
Please don't suck.
Myers Leonard.
And there's that.
When I first saw you, you were 7 feet tall.
7 foot.
He was slouching. You
Short
could
shoes.
play on the inside.
That's
Or at
what she
least we
said.
hoped so. Turns out no. But then you came back and you worked really hard on the off season. And then you followed it up with that magic little phrase that made all of us sad.
No matter what, you weren't Andre Drummond.
And I believe the phrase was, I've worked on my 3-point shot. And then from there, Myers, you proceeded to at least show that you'd worked on it. But it wasn't very good.
I don't know why Whitledge is crying.
And then you just kept
I
on
had hopes.
working on it. But it kept not being good. And then last season, it really looked like you were going to come out of your shell. And you apparently missed your morning positive meditations. We're just going to cut all of this. But Myers, we believe you. We believe you can do this. And if you don't do this, we'll deny that we said so because we ranked you at the bottom of our lists. It's all over. All right, guys, so we're an hour into this.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly. So we have one more piece of discussion before we do our beer bet for the season. So let's just quickly go into Melo. I know everyone's thinking about it.
Oh, damn that
But you
son
know what?
of a bitch.
I have to bring it up because you know what? Melo was a source of so much fucking hope. And then he ripped
And
my
drama.
heart out. I'll leave it at that. Guys, thoughts on the melodrama?
So
No pun intended.
I was totally on board with the Melo trade. I was fully willing to give up Myers Leonard and Evan Turner, or more specifically Chief. You know, just to try to trade expirable contracts.
They
to
probably wanted more.
the Knicks.
We
I'm
probably
sorry,
would have
did
given
you
them
see
more.
what the OKC trade was? There's not much more.
Yeah, you
based
got
on
a
just what
point.
No,
They
Blazers had the best-
took the
Blazers
Enos
had the best-
Kanter contract.
The Blazers.
Yeah, we had the
literally-
best trade package.
We had the best trade package, but I'm sorry. I would be more than willing to take a flyer on a 1-year rental that would get us that amount of cap relief at the tail end of the year if he decided to walk away. I'll take that. It's either we win with him or we lose with him, and then we knock that off our luxury tax. I'm sorry. I think he could have been a great catch and shoot small forward mixed in our lineup, but at the same point in time, the way the whole process went about, it drug on too long. It got
That's why I kind of knew early on. We knew New York wanted what we had. We were waiting for him to make up his mind for months. So when all of a sudden it became, he threatened he might go to Portland, my hope immediately was like, well, maybe there's a chance. And then I thought about it for a little bit.
So how do you feel about him going to a legitimate divisional rival?
Where else was he going to go? He wanted to go where there were
Houston,
legit all-stars.
Cleveland.
He couldn't go to Houston. Houston had Jack Squat.
couldn't do it.
OKC, at least then New York could get a couple pieces. Realistically, I'm pretty sure they were taking someone like Mo Harkless. They were probably taking someone like Chief from us. That was going to be the type of thing we were going to lose. Someone outside of the top 3, plus a couple aspirings, plus...
And please, Myers Leonard.
Probably not, because he had some years left. And probably a couple draft picks and mortgaging our future.
They wanted short-term contracts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they got Eanes Cantor.
And and
Good luck with that.
yes,
When
New York.
They matched our offer to him, and now they have to absorb that now.
Hey, side note.
Hey, guys, remember Patrick Ewing? New York used to be good.
that one guy? That one guy that was really great at basketball.
Yeah.
I will leave my closing thoughts with Melo simply put like this. Like, OKC might be getting praised right now in the administration for such a great trade. Oh, you got George. Oh, you got Melo. Yes, you got Westbrook again. Like, truth of the matter is, George is gone, Melo's gone, and Westbrook's probably going to be gone. Their team is going to go from being relatively good, probably a ball hoggy, to absolutely garbage within a season, unless they pick up some good players.
I'll pose the question to you. Who's taking last second shot in that game?
I think they're all going to touch the ball.
No. You got to pick 3. Which one's taking the last second shot? Which one do you think's getting it?
Westbrook. I put Westbrook all the time.
Oh, that's gonna be
Melo.
why Melo is
I'm
going
giving
to
it-
lose his mind.
I'm giving it to Melo. I think Westbrook will play the LeBron in his first year in Miami role, defer, and I think Melo's taking the last second shot.
Either
Who do you
Houston, well, no, I think somebody's probably going to be Westbrook because he's going to get it in the first place, and it's going to piss Melo off. And I think realistically, between Houston's ball hog problem and OKC's, we're going to end up seeing some weird things happen next offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The whole team's going to go away.
Well, they
Good
won't
riddance.
go away.
Yeah.
They'll still be there. They'll just be shit.
No, they just won't play.
just-
OKC will no longer be a contender in the West.
We'll just venture down into Milwaukee territory.
Yeah. So Houston, if
And
you're
Milwaukee
listening,
has hope.
enjoy Melo next year.
Milwaukee.
In LA, enjoy George. You'll get him along with LeBron and probably Westbrook. That goes on the power team. So we don't need to go into Melo anymore because you know what? To me, Melo's dead. I don't need Melo.
He
on
buried
this
him
team.
last night.
Yeah, he's done.
In his tears.
Absolutely could care less about Melo. And good riddance. And I hope OKC completely sucks due to all the ball handlers on the court. So I know it's been a long podcast at this point for our pilot episode, but you know what? One thing we want to introduce is, so as of right now, we're going to do a season-long beer bet. However, we're going to be doing beer bets per episode, and we're going to be doing a fun thing called Shot of the Week, where we take a shot. So
In honor of the best
if we
shot
already
of the
didn't
week.
sound completely drunk doing this show,
Don't
we'll
worry,
sound
it gets
even
better.
more drunk after the shot. So last thing I want to do today is talk about the total wins predictions for our beer bet. So this is going to be a season-long bet, and I put the bet at one full 24-pack case.
Is that Rolling
To the
Rock,
winner.
Coors Light?
So beer choice to the winner, and there's only going to be one winner. So
One
he
winner
who
gets
is-
2 cases.
yeah, it's Price is the Right method.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we're going prices right. You
Yeah.
can't go over.
Can't go
Can't
over.
go over.
So I'll lay it out here because I prepped for this. Vegas is putting the Blazers at 42.5 wins for the season. I'm actually taking a shot, and I'm going to put them at 51 wins for the season.
Ooh.
I'm feeling Nurk fever. I'm feeling Nurk. I think we have a power
I hope
3,
you're right.
and I think we all know our roles.
So that 42.5 in Vegas odds is giving them 8th place in the West. I'm gonna give them probably the 6th spot at 49 wins.
So we got 49 and 51.
Yep.
And I prepared for
51
this
will
also.
probably give you 5th spot.
And I wanted to go with $1, Bob, but I'm not going to go 1 because that's just an a-hole move.
So you heard it first here. Ryan Green, 1 win.
I'm playing the game. I'm here for my 2 cases of
He wants the
beer.
freaking beer.
So I'm just gonna say 42. because
You're going the odds?
I'm going straight at 42. I know we'll do better, but that
you
gives
like
me
beer?
a lot of games. I like beer, and I really can't give myself less than 50% of a win rate. I just can't. It would hurt my
even
soul
though-
to be rooting for the Blazers to do less than break even. I won't even root for that. I'll just
Even
know
though
that there's a
Nurk
chance.
is down 34 pounds.
Listen, I'm sure we're probably going to win, and I really want to buy one of the two of you a case of beer.
No, but you want to buy us both. It's fine.
But I also like winning things, so this gives me the best odds.
So my question to you, listeners and viewers, and all you things in the YouTube world, put a comment below as to who do you think is the biggest Blazers fan. Yeah. Ye who has little faith, ye who believes the Blazers will score over 50, and kind of middle of the road guy over here. So, but I'm not
his middle of the road.
I'm not going to
bet-
tip the scale here.
My
That's
middle of
two
the road bet is
games.
the best.
So again, to recap, 51 wins, 49 wins, and what?
42
wins below
and
Vegas odds.
And if it's 41,
Because Vegas has them at 42
we
and a half.
all lose.
Yes.
So Green is basically saying the Blazers are going to get less than Vegas prediction. So if
I'm
he's
just
betting the
saying I
under-
like to win.
He's betting
beer.
the under.
Take your mortgage to Vegas if you're following him.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for listening and watching. If you're watching, stay tuned as we'll be bringing episodes every Monday. However, we're going to be doing a bonus first episode on Friday.
And a last
Welcome
note.
to our pilot.
Oh, it's the future. One last note. If you're happen to catch this between now and anytime in the future, podcast at BlazerTagPodcast.com. Email us questions, concerns, things you want to talk about, how ugly someone is or what you love or hate. We'll be glad to address all of that on the air.
Tell that man to grow more hair.
Tell us
Bigger beard.
tell us about your way to make money with Saudi princes and African kings or whatever those
Nigerian
spammy.
lovers.
Yeah, those are the ones.
And I'm also sure that Green over there is taking beard oil suggestions. So if you have any, don't hesitate to reach out to us as well.
Anyways, we will see you next
Yeah,
week,
that is it, folks.
Rock
Adios.
and also roll.
Blazer tag on.